Hello and welcome to this short session all about the Worship Central course. My name is Tim Hughes.
And I'm Al Gordon. In the next few minutes, we're going to be telling you all about the big idea, how you can be involved and how to get started.
Worship Central is a movement of worshippers all across the world with a vision to encounter God, equip the worshipper and empower the local church. Over the last 5 years, we've seen over 100,000 worship leaders and musicians gather throughout the world for conferences and training nights to meet with God, to learn new practical skills, and to be trained in how to lead worship in the context of the local church. It's been an amazing adventure, and along the way, one of the things we've learned is that if we want to see real and lasting change in our local communities, then we need to take this training right to the heart of the local church, to thrash it out together as people involved leading in everyday situations.
The Worship Central course is the big idea we've been working on for the past 5 years. It's taking all the training from the events, the input from leading theologians, all the conversations that we've all been having online, and distilling it down into 7 sessions, a training course that can be run by anyone, anywhere in the world, in any local church.
And this is how it works. The Worship Central course is a 7-session training course for worship teams. It is designed to address the big theological and practical questions around leading worship in the 21st century and is made up of the following units. Firstly, Why is Worship Central? Tackles the big issue of why worship is at the heart of everything we're called to do as people passionate about Jesus. In this session, we'll tackle the big question of why worship is our highest priority and how everything we do flows from it. Secondly, Encounter God. Here we look at the 6 key biblical values that form the foundations for any healthy worship team. Regardless of style or setting, whether you lead in a big context or in a small group, this session will look at basic foundations for healthy worship. Thirdly, Leading Worship looks at basic practicalities. This will help us sharpen our thinking in leading worship and looks at 3 key questions. How am I preparing? What is God doing? And where are we growing?
Then the 4th session looks at releasing creativity in the local church. We dream of every local church being a beacon of creativity in their community, but how do we do it? This session tackles the nitty-gritty of songwriting, how we can have a vision for the arts, and how every one of us can be involved. Then, 5thly, we look at how to play together. This is a straight-up session on how to work together as a band, how we work out musical dynamics, how we learn to use other instruments and build each other up and sharpen each other practically in what we're doing. It doesn't get more practical than this. Then 6thly, we're looking at the effective team, what it takes for us not just to be great musicians and creative people, but actually work together for the long run so we're an amazing blessing to our communities, how we can stick it out and grow in the years to come ahead.
And finally, we look at the authentic leader. We can have the best musicians, the greatest theologians, the most committed teams. But if we are not authentic disciples and followers of Jesus Christ, it counts for nothing. This session will look at how we can tune our lives for God and follow Him for the long run. We could not be more excited and thrilled with this course. Over the last 5 years, we've been chatting with amazing theologians, sitting down, dreaming and talking with fantastic worship leaders, learning from them, piloting this material, using it in context all over the world. And we now present the Worship Central course, and we are so excited.
Now, the beauty of the Worship Central course is that it's designed to be run by you where you are. A typical course will run on a weeknight, maybe over 7 consecutive weeks. And it would start with you gathering your team for some food and a chance to hang out together. Then there'll be a time of worship, followed by a talk that one of your team can give. After talk, a chance to pray for one another, and then the rubber really hits the road because you'll break into groups and start to discuss what does this material actually mean for us in our context? You know, what does songwriting mean for us as a team? How can we lead better on Sunday morning? How can we grow effectively as a team? These kind of questions are best thrashed out with your gang in a room, thinking through how it works for you guys. That's the beauty of the course.
But you can take the course and run it how you think will work best for your local setting. You might want to run these sessions once a month. You might want to take your worship team away for 2 weekends throughout the year. For example, when we ran it as a team, we met once a month and the impact was huge. I remember after the session on releasing creativity, the worship team met in their discussions, and the feedback was that they would love more time to rehearse, to arrange, to songwrite. And so we met together more regularly to do that. And out of that, we wrote a lot of the songs that were eventually recorded on the album Spirit Breakout.
So it's really your call how you want to take this and adapt it to fit your setting. But what we do ask is that each time you run it, you register it on the website worshipcentral.org. Now, it's all free. The only reason we want you to do this is so we can keep in relationship with you, keep a track of where you're at, and support you and serve you as you run the course. Now, all the way through the material, you'll find that there are little blocks where you can drop in your own jokes, your own stories, your own examples and illustrations. We'd really encourage you to do this. Make it your own. What we do ask, however, is that you don't totally change the core material and the core points in the course, because we want people to be able to get the same course wherever they are in the world and still get the Worship Central course.
So, who is the course for? Well, we've designed it to be really, really easy. It is for anyone in any local church, anywhere in the world. It is for everyone who has a heart and passion for worship, whether you're a worship leader, a musician, member of the production team. Now, it's going to be your responsibility to run the course. You'll have to invite your worship team to come along to the evenings, and all the material is available and free on the Worship Central website.
Getting started is really easy. There are 5 things you need to do. Firstly, download the guide from the Worship Central website today. That tells you everything you need to know to get started. How to sort out your chairs, how much food to get, literally it's all in there. And also, if you're coming to one of our events, look out for the How to Run the Worship Central course seminar, and that will run you through the practicalities of getting started. Secondly, sort out your dates with your team. Book them in, work out the 7 sessions, how you're going to fit them in, and ask your team to make them an absolute priority in their diaries. That way they'll all turn up and you'll really enjoy the course. Thirdly, go online once you've sorted out your dates and you know what you're doing, and register your course. It takes 2 minutes to do, and this will give you access to all the material for 1 year online.
Fourthly, download the material. Once you've registered, you'll be able to download tons of goodies. The full transcripts and notes for the speakers who are going to be giving these talks, the visual presentations that go with each session, and the notes for all your guests. You can print these off on paper and your guests can write down any thoughts as the sessions go. Fifthly and finally, make a start. We've had such fun running the course and seeing how it's impacted our team, seeing everyone on the same page in terms of the vision and values of worship. And from those other leaders who've piloted the course around the world, the encouraging feedback we've had is that it's just released a greater sense of passion and commitment from their worship teams to serve their local churches. And this is just the beginning. We are just getting started with this course. And we want this to be a conversation that goes on in every local church. So we want to hear from you, hear what God is doing, how the course has impacted your church. We want you to be able to interact with us on our website, worshipcentral.org. You can let us know of illustrations you've used, stories, experiences of how God has used you and used this course to bless you. And please keep in touch with us. Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, YouTube. We want to hear from you.
One of the reasons we're publishing this course online is because we want to develop it with your help each year. We're going to be improving it. Think of it as open source worship team training. You'll be able to throw in your ideas, input your illustrations, stories, jokes that have been working, and those around the world will be able to see what you're doing. And hopefully, over the years to come, we'll be developing this course together.
In the Message translation of 2 Chronicles 29 verse 11, we are challenged by the following words. Don't drag your feet in this. God has chosen you to take your place before Him, to serve in conducting and leading worship. This is your life work. Make sure you do it and do it well. Our great hope, desire, vision for this course is that it will equip you and encourage you to get really excited about God and about serving the local church. We long that we could all take seriously this call and be the best leaders of worship that we could possibly be until that day when we see Jesus face to face.
So don't forget, next steps to get started. Firstly, get the guide on the website. Secondly, plan your dates. Thirdly, register your course. Fourthly, download the material. And fifthly, just get going. Thank you so much for watching.
Keep in touch.
I'll see you soon.
See ya.